Hi, this is Recovery Conversations, brought to you by HIlda's Place Behavioral Health. My name's Joe, and this is the first episode. I'm sitting here with Travis. We're just going to talk a little bit about recovery and a little bit about the process. Well, first off, thank you for being here tonight.
Yeah, not a problem, man. I'm done everything I have to get done for the day.
It's good to hear. Okay, so just going right into it. What were you most apprehensive about when you decided to seek recovery?
Most apprehensive, I think this would play into the fall line of a lot of people. I was really stubborn about it, really. I wouldn't say I didn't want to do it because with my experience with it, it put me in a spot where I wasn't able to be helping myself nor help others. So apprehensive-wise, it was just really just doing it. Like just humbling myself to the point where I was like, I need professional help outside of guidance that I'd give myself. And getting over that, it was actually easier said than done because once I started doing the process and I actually came to HIlda's Place, everything just kind of fell in suit from there. It was just the beginning step really was it would be more along the lines of embarrassing just to know that my life sunk that low to the point where I'm like, I need help. I've never been a person who asks for help or anything like that or accepts donations or, But when it came down to the brass tacks, I needed help because my life was I was just in such a self-destructive spiral that I needed professional help, and I've been given it here at HIlda's.
Good. That's good to know. Touching on that just a little bit, how were you able to overcome that as well as you have? Because, you kind of touched on a little bit about like the embarrassment and all that. Like, was there any, short of just, grinding your heels in and going for it, like, was there any kind of way that that you overcame it, or was it just like a natural process?
It was more, well, this is my first time doing anything like this, anything with a rehabilitation program, anything with behavioral health services, anything along those lines for mental health, behavioral health, drug addiction problem health. I've never done anything like this before, and I've been here for about 5 months now. And in that course of time, it's really just been a natural progression, really. I mean, in the beginning of it, when I first came here, the first few weeks, I was just kind of going through the motions and doing what I was supposed to. And I still do. I don't like to cause ruckus because that doesn't get anything solved. But yeah, I mean, there was no reason for any apprehension coming here and getting acquainted with the program and the staff and just how they run business here day to day and how they just make their things work with the feng shui of everything. It really is an open environment comparatively to what I've seen and heard from a lot of other places. But that's coming from a standpoint of not actually being to those places. I don't know. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. No, it's been a process that's actually just been kind of unraveling itself as it goes. And I'm ready to take the next step, which there's no pressure on it. There's no pressure on any of this. It's just, I know it's the most cliche thing to say, but it's just you have to have a willingness to want to do it, really. Yeah. So, and that's pretty much all there is to it. And the willingness comes naturally if you accept that. Like if you accept I need help and you're forefront about it, and you come here and you do the process, which isn't hard. You just got to do it. Yeah. I mean, you will see changes in your life just happen. And the funny thing is they happen after the fact of the matter. And then you realize, oh, maybe something is going well in my life for once.
Sometimes, again, it sounds a little bit cliche, but, sometimes the first step's the hardest one to take. But once you start, just the momentum keeps up.
Right.
Well, it's good to hear. Thank you for your insight on that.
Yeah, man.
Following that up with, has being at HIlda's Place changed your perception on recovery at all? And I think you have a little bit of a unique view on this because not a lot of people come in here for their first time. So I think as a first timer, you're able to offer a unique perspective on it.
Yeah. As in a background of rehabilitation, like I previously said, I don't really have that. I've never really gone to any of the programs or anything like that. But yeah, man, it's just not hard. It really hasn't been. But has it changed my perception of recovery? I don't know if I can say it changed it because I never had a perception of recovery to begin with coming in here. I started off on a clean slate. But being here and seeing the people that have come through these doors and left these doors, obviously they've started off worse and they've gotten better over X amount of weeks, yada, yada, go on and so forth. But yeah, recovery, I mean, especially for people who don't have a problem with the disease of addiction, looking outside the box or looking inside the box, really, of people who go through this entire process of rehab, behavioral health services and everything like that. I mean, there are so many mixed messages with it and so many mixed opinions on it. My opinion is, or just my perception of recovery is, we're all human, man. We're all flesh and blood. Some people have this genetic disease, if you want to call it that. Some people don't. Some people are just wired that way. Some people aren't. The ones that are, the ones that get help, that's why when people go to NA groups and AA groups and everything like that, they form a network of people that share this disease and help fight it on a daily basis. And opening myself to that portion of a life I've never really tapped into and knew that was real, it's kind of mind-blowing, especially in, Carroll County with the amount of programs and everything like that, and just people in social services and everything like that, just trying to help. I never really knew it up until this point in my life. I mean, I knew I had a problem, but I didn't know there are this many ways that people want to help the disease of addiction.
That's fair. Because like you, I'm a very much a first timer in the process. And that was a lot of my contention as well. Is like I didn't really know what to expect, and like I wasn't expecting there to be such a vast network of people and just like a vast network of people that are willing to help get you through this thing. Like, so that was a very, very big thing for me, was just kind of realizing, there's more people out there in this that want to see you succeed than you'll probably realize before you get here.
Yeah, hands down. And I found that out as soon as I came here.
Well, cool. That's some interesting insight. Right. Following that up with, how has being in recovery changed your view of the future?
It hasn't really changed it per se, because I still know what I want to do within, say, the course of the next 10, 15 years of my life. And I still have that backdrop, and I've always had that backdrop. It's just when I was really bad into my disease, that lost a lot of headway and just kind of sat on a back burner for years. But ever since I've been here and ever since I've been just developing my coping skills of realizing what my addiction is, realizing what it's done to my life, and just realizing how much I do not need all of that extra noise in my life, really has opened the avenue back up to, oh yeah, remember that time when you said you were going to go do this, and this? Now you can, because you actually wake up at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning and not 4 o'clock in the afternoon, wondering what time it is or even what day it is. So just,
That definitely makes sense. And that's, again, I can relate to that a little bit. It's definitely brought everything into clearer focus.
Absolutely.
It's definitely kind of, helped me be able to like pinpoint the direction that everything I want to take.
Absolutely.
And, I think the same can be said for you. That's good. That's interesting. Any thoughts on how your future might have changed after being in recovery? Like, has the direction altered any? Has there has a clearer path emerged out from? I mean,
there are so many opportunities that have opened up ever since I've been even in this program, even since I've started seeking recovery. So many new opportunities have opened up that I didn't even know were possible. And I know it all just sounds like it's all fairy tale stuff. Ever since I did this, all of these things opened up into my possible realm of the future and stuff like that. But really, it's true. I mean, if you just stick with the process of recovery and just work on yourself on a daily basis, opportunities will present themselves, and they happen more frequently than not. And I've only been here 5 months. Just actually tomorrow, it's going to be, I've been here 5 months. And even over the course of that time, there have been opportunities that I've taken that have been offered to me, and it's nothing but beneficial. Even if I don't use those opportunities right away, still, it's just good to have in your forte just later down the road in life.
That's an important thing to kind of come to terms with.
And yeah, it's just the fact that it just all comes to you as long as you just do what you're supposed to, which, like I said, isn't hard.
Yeah.
Some people make it hard, but I don't understand that aspect. Anyway.
Okay, last question of the evening. What advice would you give yourself when you first thought about going into recovery?
What advice would I give myself? Just shut up and do it, man. You know you need to. Just shut up and do it. Because I know people I spent all of my 20s. I spent over a decade doing, just beating around the bush with it. Just thinking that I could stop whenever I wanted. You know, I could just play it off. But that's not the case. And that's what I was previously before I came into here. I would do what I did and think, nah, it's fine. I'll just, quote unquote, shake it off. You can't shake this off. This is a lifelong battle, man. But when you know what you're facing, instead of just facing yourself, you're facing the thing that's trying to kill you and bring you down to nothing. When you're facing that instead of facing yourself, that's already half the battle won.
That's some good advice. And also, it's a little bit interesting how that ties nicely into the first question about like the apprehensiveness about starting it. Like I think with that advice, that might have gone a little bit differently.
Yeah, if we would have had this conversation the first day I would have walked in this door, I'd barely be even talking to you right now.
Yeah. And I remember when you first got here, it was you were a completely different person.
Oh yeah.
And just seeing how you've progressed through the program has been an interesting, very kind of eye-opening thing because I think you were the first person to come in here other than myself that had this had been their first time in a program like this. So it was kind of interesting to see somebody else navigate it other than myself, because a lot of people, if you've been in a program before, you can kind of just show up, blend in, and move along. But not really knowing what to expect, it's definitely an interesting experience. Well, thank you for sitting down and talking to me tonight. It's been definitely eye-opening. Hopefully, the message that you've shared tonight can help somebody else seeking recovery and seeking, to make a change in their lives. So you have listened to Recovery Conversations, brought to you by HIlda's Place Behavioral Health. Thanks. Until next time.